This poem is typical of Billy Collins. It's got a lot of wry humor. Also, the title is playfully misleading. The title doesn't really give us a clue as to what this poem is about. Sometimes Billy Collins likes to do that. Let's read it. Too bad you weren't here 6 months ago, was a lament I heard on my visit to Nebraska. You could have seen the astonishing spectacle of the Sandhill Cranes, thousands of them, feeding and even dancing on the shores of the Platte River. There was no point in pointing out the impossibility of my being there then because I happened to be somewhere else. So I nodded and put on a look of mild disappointment, if only to be part of the commiseration. Commiseration means sympathy, feeling sorrow for someone else's misfortunes. It was the same look I remember wearing about 6 months ago in Georgia when I was told that I had just missed the spectacular annual outbursts of azaleas, brilliant against the green backdrop of spring. And the same in Vermont 6 months before that when I arrived shortly after the magnificent foliage had gloriously peaked. Mother Nature, as she is called, having touched the hills with her many-colored brush. A phenomenon that occurs, like the others, around the same time every year when I am apparently off in another state, stuck in a motel lobby with the local paper and a styrofoam cup of coffee, busily missing God knows what. Well, this is a humorous little poem with sort of a serious underpinning. The poem is about experience, or more particularly, how we think about experience. There are lots of people who spend their lives regretting what they've missed in life and pointing out what others have missed. The problem is that the more we focus on what we've missed, the less we appreciate the experiences we have. Every day is an experience of some kind, but we aren't likely to embrace that experience and relish it if we are lamenting that we miss something else. The foliage in New England, the azaleas in Georgia. Maybe we've never seen the Grand Canyon or the Empire State Building. But of course the world is a big place, and if we live to be 150, there are lots of places we would never go and experiences we would never have. The important thing in life is to embrace the experiences we have. Even if it's reading the local paper in a motel room with a styrofoam cup of coffee. No experience is too small or insignificant to value. I don't think that we've defined the term oxymoron yet. An oxymoron is typically a two-word phrase with one term contradicting the other. A common oxymoron we hear in conversation is an open secret. Well, if a piece of information is open or known to a lot of people, then it's not a secret. Sometimes we might hear somebody referred to as a wise fool. I'm thinking of what is now an old movie, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was referred to as a wise fool. In fact, because I'm an English teacher, I'm always interested in words and where they come from. And I remember looking up oxymoron a few years ago because I was curious about it. It's derived from a couple of Greek words. Oxy is derived from a Greek prefix meaning sharp or pointed. Moron has been absorbed into English almost unchanged. Moron means simple or foolish. So in fact, when we use the phrase wise fool, we are almost exactly uttering the Greek etymology of oxymoron. At the end of this poem, we have an oxymoron, busily missing. Usually when we miss something, we oversleep, or we forget to put it on our calendar, or we just don't care. We don't busily commit ourselves to figuring out ways to miss important things. The phrase is an oxymoron. Oxymorons are used for a variety of purposes in literature, but frequently they are used for humorous effect. And Billy Collins uses them a lot, and almost always for humor.